Hi guys, so today we're going to do a quick video on using yarn bobbins when you're working on a graph can. Okay, so my favorite ones are the ones that come from the Dollar Tree store. You get a set of 6 for $1. Not all Dollar Tree stores have them, but you can order them online, although I do believe there's a minimum quantity of 12. So anyway, these are my favorite ones. There's also some that Walmart carries. They're just, you know, regular plastic clothespins. You can see that they're not as wide at the end as these ones from the Dollar Tree, and I feel like these ones work better. Unless you have a real small project, then sometimes these actually do work better. If you can't make it to the Dollar Tree, you can always make some yourself. These are what I used before somebody told me about the plastic clothespins. It's just a piece of cardboard cut out into a capital letter I, and then I have a slit at the top. So what I do is I roll my yarn or wrap my yarn around it, and then when I'm done I put it in that little slit, and then it doesn't go anywhere. And these make good bobbins too. They're not as good as the clothespin ones. One, because over time this slit gets loose and you know you got to keep making new ones. And then two, when you're crocheting from one, you know, it's harder to get the yarn off. You kind of got to unwrap it. Whereas the other ones, you know, from the clothespins, they just kind of pull off, so it's easier crocheting. But anyway, I'll kind of show you how we do this. So I got one started here, so I just wrapped my yarn around the clothespin and I crocheted some. So now I'm ready to change colors. Oops, let me get this here. Alright, so I'm ready to change colors. So rather than cutting my yarn and having another darn end to tuck in, because none of us like to do that, I'm just going to kind of clip that over there, and then I'm going to go with another color. I think I'm going to do some green next. So I'm just going to get that green off of there. I'm just going to start it here and pull it through, and I'm not really making anything specific, I'm just kind of showing you. So I'm going to do this like the corner to corner. And that's what most of my graphs are, just for the corner to corner. If you don't know how to do that, I would recommend watching a video from the Crochet Crowd. Mikey does a great video on the corner to corner, and he's got some on graph cans as well, and they really are fantastic. Whoops, got that end in there. That's actually what I watched when I started doing the corner to corners. And then because I'm old, I did learn to crochet from a book, so I had to get the printed pattern too. But I think his videos are great, and then that combined I was finally able to get it. But then once it clicked, you know, it's like so incredibly easy. So I'm getting to my end here. I'm working on my green, and you can make such pretty pictures with these corner to corner graph cans. Now they're not as detailed as like a graph can you'll see when people use like the single crochet, because there's probably half as many squares in a corner to corner graph as what there is in a single crochet graph. Well, unless you wanted it as big as a house. So they definitely do have more detail, but these work up faster, and for me, I just like them better, and I'm really just not a fan of the single crochet just over and over, and I don't like changing colors either, so you know, the corner to corner ones work good for me. And you can change, you know, the size by what type of yarn you use, or what hook size. So all of my patterns come with those different dimensions too, and then your gauge. You can kind of see how big it's going to be, but generally for the Afghans, I like them, you know, between 70 and 80 squares high and 70 and 80 squares wide. Some a little bigger, some a little smaller, you know, just kind of depending. Alright, so we're getting kind of close here, so I'm going to change colors again. So when we change colors in the corner to corner, of course you don't do that last pull through. So I'm done with my green. So again, I'm just going to clip it. Now here's where the difference is. With these little ones, it's harder to get on there, and you kind of gotta shove it on there. And then also, because of the way this end is, the yarn comes off. So what I do when I'm working with the littler ones I actually will take this and put it like that, and then I'll do it like that. So they're just, you know, a little bit more inconvenient. I think they don't work quite as well as the other ones. Alright, so now I'm back to working on yellow again. So if I would have cut my yarn, I would have another end to tuck in right here, and that would not be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unclip this now, and I'm just going to continue on. So I'm going to pull that over. Now it may look like you're going to see it, but you won't. You know, like once I do my chain 3, 1, whoops, sorry about that. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, and then I do my 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then you don't even see where I carried that yellow over to that green. There's like a little tiny piece right there, and then I just continue on. Now, if you have, you know, like 2 squares you're working over, then it does show and you do have to cut it. So you still do have to cut the yarn sometimes when you're using the yarn bobbins, but not nearly as much. I think that you probably have half as many ends when you use the yarn bobbins as when you don't. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so let's go ahead and double crochet in here. And it really doesn't matter the size. Like I do the whole afghans a lot. I do have patterns for scarves and balances and shrugs and other things, but I work on the afghans a lot. And sometimes I want to do it upstairs, you know, in my bedroom in front of the TV. Sometimes I'm going to do it downstairs in front of the couch. And by using bobbins, it doesn't matter how big my project is. As long as I've got them attached on there, I can just pick it up and go. And I don't have to ever worry about the yarn getting tangled or anything. So I think I'm going to change my color back again. So, or no, maybe I'll do one more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I'm done with yellow. So I'm just going to take this and then see how much easier that one clips, and then the yarn doesn't come off the end either. So these ones are definitely better. Now I'm going to go to my green again, and then usually, you know, it's kind of loose right here, so I usually, you know, do the pull, get it tightened up there a little bit. I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to continue on. And it really doesn't matter if you have, you know, 2 bobbins or 50 bobbins, which you probably would never have 50 bobbins. There you go, and you can keep working it through. But it doesn't matter how many. You can just, once these are clipped to your work, we'll just kind of clip this here. So I'm going to put it down there so that yarn doesn't come off. I'm just going to clip it there and then make my hook a little big. But it doesn't matter how big the project is. These aren't going to come off, you know, so your yarn is not going to get tangled. So it is definitely very helpful. And then you have, you know, you can see how much better it is than 50,000 ends. So that is the deal with the yarn bobbins. It really doesn't matter how much yarn you put on it. Some people like to put, like, wrap it as full as they can wrap it, so that they don't have to change, you know, keep wrapping them. I like to wrap them, you know, kind of full, but I don't like it to be so full of yarn that it's awkward to work with, because, you know, we're doing this to enjoy. So what I do is I use whenever I'm connecting, like for instance, if my yellow bobbin is run out and I need more yellow, rather than just starting it, I use a weaver's knot, which my mom has worked in textile mills probably her whole life, and that's what she uses, a weaver knot. And I think you can probably, let's see, we can probably do that really quick on here so you can see. But some people don't even like the little knots that a weaver knot will give you, but I think they're fine. So you just get your 2 pieces of yarn, and then I always start over here and I flip that over. And I'm going to try to get it here so you can see it. And then I take this end here and put it right in there. And then this side, I kind of turn that around, and which you don't have to, but for some reason this is just how it's easiest for me. And then I kind of flip that over, and then I'm taking that end and putting it in the top there, and then pull. and then it doesn't matter how tight you pull this, and I apologize I don't have scissors handy, but anyway, I snip it right here at the edges, and once this is snipped here, it does not come out. I have never ever had one come out, and the knot is so tiny, like I can feel it, you know, but when it's in your Afghan, it is like you can't feel it unless you're maybe really hunting for them. But anyway, so that makes you have less ends to tuck in too, so I like to do the weaver's knot. So I was really grateful to my mother when she showed me that one. All right, well, so if you have any questions, you can definitely post them here, or you can find us on Facebook or the C2C Graphs, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have about bobbins or anything else. So happy crocheting, everybody.